Alright, welcome to Kung Fu Habit number 2. This is part 2 about knees and elbows and how every martial artist and damn near every martial art has the use of knees and elbows. Give me a second. Okay, Instagram, you should be back. You're moving. It's moving right slow, so there may be some net issues with Instagram. What the hell's going on? Okay, Instagram, if you get this, great. If you don't get this, then you can go to Kung Fu Havoc number 2 for part 2 of knees and elbows. Yeah, there's a major delay on this thing. It's like... I'm sorry, YouTube. I'm really watching this Instagram thing. It's like super slow motion. So yeah, that was multiple elbows. You know, it's a lot easier for me to demonstrate multiple elbows versus multiple knees because the lack of room. So basically we're doing like the triangle outside, only inside. So elbows and knees are very effective. Again, as I said in video 1, you really have to know when to apply them. Somebody's coming behind you, boom, back elbow, and another high elbow. Those are effective, and they work. Your primary target, the gut and the chin. Alright? I know. People are going to say, why are you telling us primary targets? Alright, here's the thing. For you who don't know about pressure points, and for those who shit on Kempo or Aikido or any martial art that emphasizes pressure points, that's up to you. What you choose to believe is up to you. What's been battlefield tested has been battlefield tested. I know for a fact an elbow to the gut fucking hurts. An elbow to the chin hurts. And I know for a fact that an elbow to the face does damage because I hurt my father when I was 23. And I don't know how old my father was at the time, so he may have been 40-something. He may have been my age. I was 23. And he says he was 23 years old when he had me, so 47 minus 23. 7 minus 3 is 4. And 3 minus... Alright, well anyway, he was 40-something. So my dad snuck up on me. And this is when I learned the value of knowing when to apply an elbow. If you're here on Instagram, you're going to have a delay. You're going to have a major league delay. So sorry about that. So if you want to see the full video, you're going to have to go to Kung Fu Havoc 2 in like an hour. I have 30 minutes, so I'm going to do as much as I can in 20 minutes, and then I'm going to post those. And I may do a part 3 when I come home because it's sleeting outside, so I don't want to be at work all day. Or I may do a part 3 for Instagram and then do a separate part 3 for YouTube when I get home. Alright, so anyway, my father snuck up behind me and all I saw was his hands. Now, I'm 23 years old. I've told you this story before if you're on YouTube, so Instagram, enjoy the thrill. My father snuck up behind me. I could have grabbed his hands and broke them by pushing my shoulders up and putting his elbows there. That was like the farthest thing from my mind, but I was taught how to do that. So that's just another break. But right now, we're talking about the elbow to my father's mouth. So when his hands came up behind me, all I saw was hands. So the only thing I could do was react. And my body just said, boom! And all I heard was, oh! And so my dad's 2 front teeth, I split his gums from the top of his 2 front teeth to like his molars in the back. So after that, I so rarely use elbows. Alright? Because I hurt my father so bad, he had to get a root canal. He spent 3 days that weekend. Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. And he had to go to the dentist on Monday. I cost him money because he had to go to work, and he had to not go to work because he was in so much pain because I elbowed him in the face. So I rarely use elbows now unless it's an emergency, which is another reason why I tell people, please don't walk up behind me. I will not be held responsible because this motherfucker moves without me thinking sometimes. So when I did that shit, I forgot that my dad was black. I know it sounds fucked up, but my stepmom, who was his common law woman that he was with forever, since I've known her since I was about 7 or 8, so she's basically like my fucking mom. So I was giving her a hug, and we just broke the embrace, and all I seen was hands, and they were big hands. Mostly I seen the inside of his hands, and I seen his black arms, and I freaked the fuck out, and I just wham. But it wasn't like a freak out, like scared freak out. It was like a reflective freak out. So I was like, somebody's attacking me from the back. Boom! And that's what I was trained to do. When someone attacks you from the back, you use the closest weapon to you, which was in that case my elbow. I didn't know how close he was standing to me, which is what made it effective. You can't always look behind you to see how close your enemy is so that you can plant a foot to him. But if they're close enough in striking distance, which his arms was right here. So he was in striking distance because his arm had just passed the breast of my shoulders. So that put him in striking distance, and my instincts just kicked in. Now, wham! Now, I really freaked out when I realized who it was. I freaked out even more when I had to find out on Tuesday that he didn't go to work Monday because I fucked up his mouth. So therefore, you have to know when to apply an elbow. Execution was perfect. The timing was perfect. When to apply it was perfect. But I applied it on somebody that I care about, which you also have to be fully aware of where you are when you are in a fight. You have to be fully aware of who's behind you, who's beside you, who's on your side and who's not. My dad didn't mean to hurt me. He was trying to hug me. But I have been fighting since I was 6 years old. And anytime somebody has ever come up behind me, my job was just to fuck them up. It was just that simple. The most dangerous enemy that you have in a fight is the guy who's behind you. It's never the guy in front of you, because you can see everything in front of you to hear and hear without turning your head. And if you can't, your eyes work, so you use your eyes. This is my fingers over here. I don't have to look at the camera to say this is my finger. I can look over here, I can see my thumb. I can see that finger, that finger, that finger. See, I can see all that. Now, when you see me on the camera, you won't see my eyes, but they were facing that way. So, quick ninja lesson really quickly. For those who have not taken ninjutsu, I'm going to give you the principle of ninjutsu right now. Check this out. Without turning my head, without using my eyes, I can see my thumb. I can see my thumb. Alright? Now, using my eyes, I can see my whole hands if I look left or right. So, if you are a ninja, you're going to be right here. Because without turning my head, I can't see you. But now that my head is turned, I can see everything in this room except for what is over there. Now from the middle, if I don't do all this, I can't see any of that. I can see to the recording line. So I get to see my cell phone's end and I get to see the machine's beginning. But that's it from right here with my head turned. Now this way I see nothing. So if you're a ninja and I turn to the right, you're going to be behind me on my left. If I turn to the left, you're going to be behind me on the right. That is one of the principles of ninjutsu, is that I need to know where your eye range of motion is and where your line of sight is, where ninjutsu will not help you. So if I'm sneaking in on you and I'm coming in low, and I know that from here without turning your eyes or without turning your head, all you can see is everything over here, where when you turn your head, you can see this box right here that has the Snickers candy bars in it. Now I'm going to eat those. You can see how certain things work. Now, in that event, you're going to sneak up on me and put me in a rear neck and choke and break my neck. Or you're just going to gut me. If you're going to be a ninja and you're going to use a sword, you're going to just jam the bitch right through me and solve the fucking problem. Or you're going to cut my throat. Because I can't see everything down here when I look this way. And that's how ninjutsu basically works. You could also come up behind me and knee me in the back and put me in the dragon sleeper. Or the Stinger Death Drop. You know, if you're a wrestling fan, y'all know exactly what that looks like. But the problem is, as soon as you touch me, I'm going to be aware that you're there. So if you're a ninja and you're not going to use like a blow dart or a sword, if you're going to touch me with your hands, I'm going to know you're there. And I'm going to be able to defend myself. If I don't see you coming, then I'm dead. That's how ninjutsu works. Alright? Ninjutsu is from China initially, but, you know, the Japanese took it and perfected it and made it a whole lot more unique-ish, so to speak, but ninjutsu did originate in China. You guys can go Google that shit. There will be a fight for that until the end of time between Japan and China over who created ninjutsu. Just like there will be a fight over kung fu and martial arts in general between Asia and Egypt, which is Africa. So the origins of martial arts is always going to be in question. I like to say it like this. Egyptians knew martial arts first. China, Japan, and all of Asia perfected it well better than the Egyptians did. That way, we're all in agreement that we all know martial arts. All right. Now, prior to that, if you want to go even deeper, with societies like barbarians and stuff, like Conan and them, they fought with their hands and feet too. They just didn't have a name for the shit. Kick them in the face. Shit happens. It happens. So, knees and elbows. Let's get this demonstration going now because time is not on my side and I'm going to have to go to work. So, I gave you the story about my father and the elbow, which is why I requested no one who knows me ever walks up behind me without announcing so that I don't elbow them in the face. So that I don't make the same mistake that I made with my dad. I'm still hurting for that. Even though my dad's been dead going on 6 years, I still hurt from that shit. And that was like over 20 years ago. I still hurt knowing the fact that I am skillful makes me aware of the shit that I can do to someone, which makes me try to not get into conflict. Only yin-yang theory comes in because I don't mind fighting. I don't want to lose, but it's possible. But if you're very skillful and you have good experience and you know your way around the fight, then your losing points are very thin. Alright? So Instagram, I'm going to stop you. And if you want to see the rest of this, give me like 2 hours and it should be up. I'm going to continue because I'm moving really, really slow on Instagram. And it's like got a lag or something. So I'm going to stop it because it's like giving me vertigo. So we're going to stop it. See? It's lacking. So, therefore, thanks for watching. Heartless98. I'm going to post these on YouTube in a little bit before I go to work. Okay, so I gave a shout out to Heartless98. Now I'm going to do this demo as I post this. Yeah, let me find a picture from the gallery that might be a little bit more exciting. Because when people see martial arts, they'll want to look at martial arts. If they see Spider-Man 29 doing a martial art kick, it may even thrill them. So let's do that. Knees and elbows, part 2. Alright, so that kills that. Now, I'm about to give you guys some demonstrations really quickly because it's almost 1:30 and I'm going to need to post these as fast as possible so I can go to work. Alright. Also, going to need to recharge up my phone. And at 1:45, I'm going to go need to warm up my ride. Alright, so forearm and elbow. They look exactly the same. Trust me on that. Punch, forearm, elbow. So punch, forearm, elbow. That's basically, you get to choose between a forearm or an elbow. Forearm's easier to throw. Straight up and down. Boom, boom. Forearm, easier to throw. Now if you're going to throw like a hook, then you can throw an elbow with that hook because it's all one motion. Boom. So you're going to catch them and you're going to hit them with this part after. So it's going to be the bottom of the elbow. So it's like punch, elbow. So that's that. Knee strikes. We all love knee strikes. I don't give a damn who you are. I don't care what martial arts you're taking. Everybody loves knee strikes. Everybody loves the knees. So let's work on blocks first. Alright? Because when people, they clasp your head and they start doing this number, your main blocks are like this. And you can block and turn with that block. So, because some people have wicked knees. I'm telling you, if you fucking go with a guy who twists his knee as well when he's doing this, but it's this, he's adding that torque, you're going to want to block and block. Now, here's where I piss people off who do martial arts. There's another thing about elbows and knees that I find useful and intriguing at the same time. So you have your femur bone. There are pressure points, but they're not involved in this that I can honestly medically say. So if you're throwing a knee and I'm in this position, I can elbow your knee or I can elbow your femur as I'm blocking. Boom! One gets by, boom, boom, I can throw that in there before you pull it back. If I'm lucky, you know. And a lot of things about fighting, you know, how you get to the position of using a knee. Block, pull, you know. Block, pull. Block, elbow. Block, elbow. You have to be able to get to those positions before you can even use them. So if your teacher's telling you, you know, guy's coming at you and you can just knee him, it's not impossible. It's highly improbable, but it's not impossible, especially if the fight's just getting started. It's just getting started. You're both fresh. So it's not going to be something that you're going to be able to just jump out of the air and throw a knee. If you jump in the air, two things you have working against you. One, you're in the air. Two, if you miss, lights out. Because if you miss and you, like, say you're aiming for my face, but I block it and I catch it. Alright? So let's say I bat it into my hand. So you're coming straight up with a knee, just straight knee. And you're in the air. You're jumping. I'm short, so it's not that hard to hit me. So I'm short, so you don't have to jump very high. But if I block, so this blocks your free leg, and this guides your knee into this hand. Now I have you with your knee on my shoulder, and I have this to block you from using the other one, and you have hands, so I can elevate my blocks to keep you from hurting me. So now all I really have to do is just sit down, powerbomb your shit. It's not like you're going anywhere where I have your knee. And if you aren't prepared for that, you're going to get fucked up. So you don't ever want to jumping knee strike anybody fresh out of the gates. Now you can get lucky. I'll give you that. Let's say you get lucky. Boom! I'm going to sleep. But you can be unlucky, which is closer to right than wrong. Because there's a good chance that your jumping knee might be the kiss of death for you. What if the scenario works like this? You come fresh out of the gate, I'm ready, you're ready, you run up, and you throw a jumping knee. I sidestep and clothesline the shit out of you. I sidestep and ridge hand you. I sidestep and grab you by the side of your waist and body slam you. So many different variables can happen fresh out of the gate. You want to save your power moves until you work me down. If you haven't worked me over, you know, I'm going to run and jump and knee you. There's a good chance that you're going to run and jump and find yourself in a fucking power bomb. Or you're going to run and jump and find yourself in an ankle lock. Because you might get past me. I might get you in a position where your knee flies by me and I grab it. You hit the ground and I put you in a leg lock or a toe heel or a pinky toe hook. You know, something that's going to hurt you because you went for a power move first. I have another saying that I like to do when I tell people about martial arts. If you're going to fight in a martial art, whether you're fighting standard or you're fighting Wing Chun, I always have my saying of try to jab people first before you ever throw a kick. So it's like jab, jab, kick, jab, jab, punch, you know, those things. Because sometimes when you throw a kick first, you've opened yourself up to so many different possibilities of getting your ass kicked. So you need to be aware of that shit. Because it definitely can happen. It definitely can put you on your ass. And from experience, I've learned never to do that shit. I've thrown a kick once and had somebody sidestep it and hit me in the gut. Wasn't pleasant. I still won. It was a sparring match. I still won. But they didn't know that they probably should have elbowed me. They let me recover, which is where they fucked up. Alright? And in all honesty, it was a sparring match. So, you know, but getting hit in the gut sucks. Especially if you don't have abs to protect. And it sucks when you do have abs to protect. Because at the time I had abs to protect. But it still hurts because the motherfucker's strong. It's going to hurt. No. It's just a simple. Getting hit fucking hurts. And it sucks. It sucks ass. And if they hit you right, knock the wind out of you, the fight's over. Didn't knock the wind out of me. But it hurt like shit. And they let me recover. Which was mistake number one. Now, again, sparring matches, you know, you're allowed to do that shit. But you, as a fighter, my mistake was not being aware that I could get kicked in the gut. It's the same thing. I've always been more aware of getting hit in the face versus getting hit in the body. Because a lot of times in my fights when I was a kid, we always tried to tell people, hit people in the face. As an adult, as I grew up, as I learned more, I learned that if you take out the body, the head will fall. You know, because sometimes and I speak this honestly and truthfully. Sometimes you just can't knock a person out. Sometimes people are just that fucking tough that you can't knock them out. You hit them with everything you got, and you may not knock them out. But you can't shut down the body. Now let me explain that before I piss off any more martial artists that I'm going to piss off, especially people who came from Instagram to see this. If you can't breathe, you can't hurt anybody. And that works both ways. If your enemy can't breathe, he can't fight. And so when I teach people martial arts, I tell them, because a lot of people will watch this video and say, James, you're full of shit. And to all of you who think I'm full of shit, hey, to each his own. But if you ever get hit in the sternum, in the air pocket right here, take a drink. It's going to stop right here. Your stomach is technically right here. This holds your intestines. Your lungs, your liver, everything's over here, your kidneys. Yeah, but all of your center is right here. Your breastbone protects your upper pectoral area. It does not protect your stomach. It does not protect your lungs. Your ribs are right above your lungs. So your stomach is right here. And when you get hit there, when the water stops, when you drink, when you get hit right there, you're going to fucking know it. Technically, your liver is over on the right side, but your lungs are right here above the liver or in front of the liver. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not Slim Goodbody, so I don't have the diagram. But I can tell you right now, when you get hit right here, it's where it knocks the wind out of you. It really doesn't have much to do with your lungs, but it knocks the wind out of you, and I've never figured out why. Because your lungs are right here. So I don't know why getting hit here knocks the wind out of you. I guess it's like a biological reaction, but when you get hit there, you know you've been hit there. Alright? Now your throat is a very sensitive spot. And like I tell people all the time, if you can't breathe, it doesn't matter if you're 6'2" or 5'1". If you can't breathe, you ain't hurting nobody. Period. And so when I tell people, if I'm going to train with them, if I'm going to teach them anything, I tell them, look, you have some kill zones. This is kill zone number 2. This is supposed to be kill zone number 1. Same thing for the back. You can cripple somebody by breaking their fucking neck. If you do it right, you will cripple them and not kill them. And you can do it on the other side of the back, like further down, where you can cripple them even more. And I know how to do this shit because I was taught this shit via Kempo and via Wing Chun. Alright? So, if I'm telling you something and you haven't tried it, doesn't mean I haven't tried it. But I know for a fact that getting hit right here is going to slow you the fuck down. If it doesn't stop you, it'll damn sure slow you down. And when I teach breaks, I teach break at the elbow. So when you see me do this, and I'm over here, I'm pulling the wrist and pushing the elbow because your elbow goes this way and this way. It doesn't go this way. When this breaks and it's hanging like that, yeah, you know when you're in the arm bar and your shit gets hyperextended because your shit's about to break. And it hurts like a motherfucker. So I'm going to break something. I'm going to break something that's going to take you a long time in therapy to heal, which is a joint. Which in Kempo, every block is a strike. Every strike is a block. And everywhere there's a joint, there's a pressure point. Alright? Now, you don't have to like pressure points. You don't have to agree with me. And I'm okay with that. I'm coolly okay with that. But I can also tell you, I've had pressure points used on me, and maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just brainwashed or mentally fucked. Either way, I've had that shit work. One of my bros from one of my films, when we fought with shoes on, he couldn't do anything to me. When we fought with shoes off, he fucked my feet up with pressure points. So I personally know that they do work. I know they worked on me. I couldn't unjam my fucking feet until he unjammed them with whatever the fuck he did. I never fought without shoes on again after that, I can tell you that. And as far as the other things, I learned in Kempo. Like I said about knuckle striking your metacarpals versus you throwing a full punch at me and I'm popping your hand because your metacarpals are easy to fucking break. If you don't break them hitting me, I can probably break them hitting them. You know, every martial arts style is going to be different. So if you throw a punch, I'm not going to say, I'm going to elbow that bitch. I'm not going to knee that bitch. That takes too much precision. I'm 47. I don't have that kind of time. But what I can do is I can break that bitch, and then I can elbow you. Or I can break it, pull it, and knee you, kung fu. Break it, pull it, knee you, karate. You know, I can figure this shit out. But the problem is, you know, every fight's going to be different. No matter who you're fighting, no matter what the situation is, every fight's going to be different. So I'm going to end this video on this. If you're going to fight, know where your weaknesses are on your body. Know where your weaknesses are on your opponent. Throat, sternum, because all of your air is right in there. Know that some pressure points will work, some will not. It also depends on your style of martial arts. If I'm fighting Wing Chun and you're fighting Wing Chun, we're not going to be so much worried about pressure points as we are trapping hands or push hands. We're not going to be worried about pressure points. But we are going to be worried about push hands and trapping hands, because trapping hands leads to grapples. And if you can grapple in Wing Chun, which you can, a lot of people don't teach grappling in Wing Chun and Wushu anymore, but old school Wushu, old school Wing Chun has grappling in it. So if you haven't taken those, then you've taken like version B versus version A. Same shit, just less, because old school Wing Chun, when you're here and you're going to do trapping hands, and I trap and I'm going to pull you. If we're going to do pushing hands, I can lock and elbow you, and it's still Wing Chun, because you're doing pushing hands. We're working up that cultivated chi, or whatever you want to call it, and boom, you're working it in. So some things work for some people, some things work for others. Let's just agree to disagree. But when it comes to knees and elbows, which I'm going to have to do a part 3, I may do one for Instagram only, and I will definitely do one for Kung Fu Epic number 2, but I gotta start posting now because I have to go to work in like maybe 20 minutes. So, yeah, roughly 20 minutes because it's 1:39 now. So, all right, to end this video, let's put it this way: knowing that you can use a knee and elbow is great. Knowing when to use a knee and elbow is better. Knowing exactly where to strike with a knee and elbow and how to apply it during the mix of an actual fucking fight is excellent. And once you can figure out how all 3 of those work, you'll have an easier time learning when to throw an elbow, when to throw a knee, when to throw another elbow, when to throw a forearm and elbow. Same thing with the knee. You'll know when to do these things. And once you learn how to do these things, you're going to be fine. So that being said, this is Kung Fu Epic number 2. Be seeing you.